talk about 007. We got to talk about 007. You're probably wondering, why are we talking about 007? Well, it's pretty important. It's pretty important. Now, 007 is a video game I played. All right. I rated it fairly above average. The AI in this game will upset you to no end in the sense of how bad it is. It's actually insulting how bad the AI in this video game is. But today, we're not talking about the game in and of itself. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you guys want to see more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join me every single day, 9 p.m. over on the main channel, where you can catch me live every single day, 9 p.m. Eastern. I hope to see every single one of you there. Now back to the main video. We are talking about what the game decided to do for apparently only 2 months' time. So 007 ended up removing Denuvo. And if you guys don't know what Denuvo is, it is one of the worst programs that could potentially be attached to your video game. And unfortunately, these studios love using Denuvo, even though it is provably terrible for not only the video game and the performance of the video game, but it literally doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. And I'm going to prove that to you in a second. But 007 they have announced that they have removed Denuvo 2 months after launch. And I find this really ironic and really hilarious, because at the same time they announced the removal of Denuvo, they also announced that apparently 007 is now finally Steam Deck verified. At the same exact time. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why suddenly it's Steam Deck verified. So removing Denuvo, it got me thinking, right? It got me thinking. First off, why? Like, why remove it 2 months? Like, why remove it 2 months after? If you want to utilize Denuvo, you got to pull a Capcom and keep it there for a long period of time. They also charge you for how long you keep it on the game. Apparently, Denuvo has changed up the way they contract themselves, where now they charge you XYZ amount of dollars per month, depending on how long you keep it. So they might not, it might actually be not working in their favor to be doing that. But I mean, that's ultimately what's really happening. But the reason why I want to talk about this is because, number one, I think it's a little strange to do it 2 months later out of nowhere, especially since the game is relatively successful. Like, it sold copies, but also at the same token, it still hasn't made its money back because it's just way too much, in terms of a budget, way too high. Yeah, Dante says like $30,000 per month. Exactly. So they charge like $30,000 a month in order to attach themselves to your game. But the reason why I think it's so useless is because every time they put Denuvo on a video game, all it does is it insults the person that actually spent the money on the game. This whole supposed anti-piracy thing, all you're doing is hurting actual legitimate buyers by giving them a video game with worse performance because you want to make yourself feel like you're stopping piracy. But you're not stopping piracy whatsoever. It's like, in their mind, it's actually very similar to the PlayStation story. In their mind, they believe that if they take away an option from you, that you're going to then go with the other option that they're offering. So essentially, they think kind of like PlayStation, where they think, okay, if we remove physical media, 100% of the people are going to go buy digitally. They used to buy physical only. That's obviously not going to happen, but that's how these companies think. It's the same thing with this, where they think, okay, if we put Denuvo, that means that if they can't pirate the game, then they're going to go out and buy the game. It's like, no, that's not going to... Like, these people who are going to pirate your game, they're not going to go out and go buy the game because now they suddenly can't pirate it. They're just going to wait until it's piratable, until they actually are able to pirate the game. How do I know this? Well, I mean, look. There's this amazing website called Crackwatch. And no, it's not talking about your booty hole. Crackwatch, what it does is it actually showcases every single video game that is tied to Denuvo and whether or not it's been cracked or not. And pretty much almost every fucking video game that has had Denuvo since day one has been cracked, including 007. And it's been cracked fairly quickly. right? It's not even something that like they had to wait months for or whatever. It's been cracked fairly quickly. 007, Lego Batman, Pragmata, Resident Evil Requiem, Octopath Traveler 0, Digimon Storytime Stranger, Mafia of the Old Country, Stellar Blade, Doom the Dark Ages, First Berserker Kazan, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Civilization 7, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Metaphor Fantasio, Black Myth Wukong. All these games, bro. All these games, bro, have been cracked, and it's actually insane. Right? So this is why I just don't get these companies that think that by utilizing Denuvo and spending money on it, that they're somehow saving themselves money. I don't think the numbers support that. I don't think that they have any kind of data that actually supports that. If they do, I'm sure the data is coming from Denuvo. And if you're trusting Denuvo's data, I really don't know what to tell you, because last I heard, the Denuvo CEO was mad at people and was like melting down trying to convince everybody that Denuvo does not tamper performance. And that is provably not true. That is actually provably not true. It has been proven multiple times over by verified fucking nerds that Denuvo absolutely does hinder performance on your video game. So why would we then believe Denuvo? It's like, oh, we investigated ourselves and we realized we did nothing wrong. That's kind of what's going on here. Denuvo will be like, oh, you know, we don't hinder performance. Trust us. What's your source on that? Us. Us. That's what the source is, you know? And what makes it even worse is that the pirates, when they pirate the game and they crack it and Denuvo is no longer an issue, the game runs better than the people that bought the fucking game. That's even worse. So you mean to tell me the people that pirated the game are getting a better playable experience than the people who didn't? What kind of world do we live in? This is why when when Gabe Newell from Steam, when he was asked many moons ago, many yachts ago, when he was asked, hey, how do you combat piracy? And he flat out just said, you don't. The only way that you combat piracy is by giving a service that people just cannot not pay for, essentially. By offering them a service, offer the actual retail service better than anything the pirates can do. That's the only thing that you can do. Which is why Steam has all these options. But when you look at these publishers, they're utilizing Denuvo instead of making a situation that people actually want to partake in. I'll give you a great example while we're on the subject. Look at Hollow Knight Silksong. If you guys don't remember what happened with Hollow Knight Silksong, let me remind you. Hollow Knight Silksong ended up releasing, and the game did gangbusters numbers, right? Let me bring it up so I can tell you, show you guys what I'm talking about. This game was highly looked forward to, okay? The game ended up releasing to 587,000 concurrent players over on Steam. This game was so good and was so affordable, and it did everything so right for so many people that you actually had people posting about this game in the pirate forums, like multiple different forums for pirates or whatever. They were posting about it and saying that you should go out and buy this game. You had pirates saying that you should go buy this game and support this game and the developers for making such a good game at such a cheap price. It literally kind of backs up what Gabe Newell was saying about, listen, the only way you could combat it is by making an experience, a paid-for experience that people would want to rally behind. And they're not going to want to go the pirate route for it. Because it's that good. It was that good of a game at the time. So this whole Denuvo story, seeing it get removed, honestly, after 2 months, they should have just skipped it. I guarantee you, I would bet money on this. If Denuvo was not there day one, they still would have sold the same amount of copies, if not potentially a little bit more. Just because there are some people that will not buy a video game with Denuvo on it. So imagine those people, if there was no Denuvo on it, they probably would have bought it, or maybe would have waited a little bit. But realistically, I know they would have sold the same. They would have sold the same amount of copies, and you wouldn't have to deal with the bullshit of dealing with Denuvo on day one. But unfortunately, these companies, they just don't believe it. They don't believe it. They don't care, or they don't care. They view it as a means to an end. They view that $30,000 a month. Well, I mean, now they paid like 60 grand a month because they had it for 2 months. They spent $60,000 to stop nothing. They spent $60,000 to literally do nothing. They spend up to $300,000 a year to literally do nothing. It's crazy, you know? So anyway, that's the story with the 007 and Denuvo. I just found it to be really interesting. I wanted to talk about it because I wasn't expecting this. I didn't think they were going to announce the removal of Denuvo that fast. That was actually kind of shocking to me, but I mean, there you go. Maybe they realized it was worthless. Who knows? I don't know. I guess we'll see.